The pre-workout meal, something which a lot of us get confused about. What should we be eating? How much should we be eating? How long should we leave it before we go to the gym? What are the purposes of adding salt to the meal? What's the purpose of this, that? How do you cook cream of rice? Look no further. Welcome to today's video. I'm going to show you how to set up your pre-workout and make sure that you are going into your sessions, making sure that 1, you're progressing your log numbers, 2, you're feeling good, 3, you're getting good pumps, and 4, you finish it and going, fuck me, what a workout. Does that I can't remember what the other 3 points were now. Fucking hell, George. I'm going to take you through how I cook. How I make my cream of rice. You don't really cook cream of rice, do you, when you put it in the microwave? Anyway, enough waffling, let's get into this video. So these are the ingredients I will be using for my pre-workout meal. You follow me very closely, you will know that this is like a bog standard meal I've had for fucking years. Go back to some of my full days of eating back in 2019. Been having cream of rice for a long time. Starting off with our main carb source. So we're going with obviously the cream of rice from Complete Strength. You can also get it from Supplement Man, and if you want to support me, use my code George10, I always appreciate that. Caramel biscuit. I've used a lot of different cream of rice. I've used the Carla Sports Nutrition. I've used the Trained by JP. This one, the caramel biscuit, this is my favorite one. Protein source of choice, we're gonna go for a concentrate. So Perform Whey is a very good concentrate protein. Again, the protein on concentrates are always slightly lower, like per serving. As you can see, 21 grams of protein. I would always say essentially in a pre-workout meal, you wanna be getting anywhere between 25 to 35 grams of what we call highly bioavailable, but we call it high quality protein sources basically. That again is going to allow you to spike muscle protein synthesis, which again is really important for us to build muscle over time, so you want to be spiking that. So normally, as you can see, depending on your scale weight, whether you're male, female, it takes to take that into consideration. Generally, I would say for most people, they should be consuming anywhere between 25 to 35 grams of high quality, highly bioavailable protein. So we're going to go for about 50 grams, which I believe is roughly about 35 grams of protein from a direct protein source. Then gonna have 200 grams of frozen blueberries. I use the one from Sainsbury's. These are the best, like the sizing, just the crunch to it is just unbelievable. And then we're gonna be using some 85% dark chocolate, which at the moment I'm currently using from Co-op, as it's just convenient. Dark chocolate is dark chocolate. 90%, 90% plus is a little bit too bitter for me. First thing obviously you want to be doing to make your cream of rice, I'm using 100 grams, which is roughly about 76 gram of carb in this particular meal. So I'm going to weigh out 100 grams. I used this bowl in 2019 prep. It's just got a place in my heart that I just can't, you know, them ones where you just can't get rid of because it has a meaning behind it. I still use it to this day, as weird as that is. 100 grams of cream of rice, done. Now the amount of water you use in your cream of rice is always going to depend on what phase you're in. So whether you're dieting in your off season, obviously dieting, you want to add a little bit more volume so you can keep fuller for longer, so you're not as hungry. And obviously if you're like peak off season, eating like 600, 700 gram of carbs, appetite may not be the greatest. Obviously you don't want to create too much volume. For me, I use 100 grams of cream of rice, as I've already said. I roughly use about 350 milliliters of water. So I would just start off with 350 if you've never cooked it before. Stop saying cooked it, it's not cooked it, George. Just put it in the fucking microwave. Do actually weigh this out because I am a bit of a weirdo like that. That's 328. See, I'm nearly perfect when it comes to it. Just try and error with this side of things. Trial it. If you want to add more water, add more water. And then what I do is I make sure I give it a stir, because it can go a little bit clumpy when you do add some water in it, but just give it a good old-fashioned stir. Get round the edges like that, you know. Get really good with the wrists, as I always like to say. Really fucking just a bit of that in it. Practice with the wrists. Because if you're single out there, lads, you don't often fucking practice with the wrist, do you? And then when you do it, you're like, fuck you know, my wrist is killing me. If you get what I mean. Probably most of you didn't get that at all. And you're thinking, this guy's fucking weird. And you're right, I am weird, but fuck you. Enough of that, George, yeah? Let's stop swearing a bit. Let's actually do some value in this video. So, as you can see, I'm stirring my cream of rice, and it's pretty much got rid of all the clumps. I'm now gonna put it in the microwave for 1 minute, and then I'm gonna stir, and then I'm gonna stir again, and see what happens. So, come join me on the ride of making cream of rice. How fun is this video? Delicious. Cream of rice in the microwave it goes, and as always, 900 watts, 1 minute. We're gonna let that fuck up. I'm gonna say cook in it. I'm gonna let that heat up. As you can hear, the microwave Well, the minute is up, I should say. So I'm going to take my cream of rice out. Then I'm going to put it down to the side here, like this little bit here. You just want to mix it in. Obviously, I can't really do this with one hand because it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. There's Diesel, he wants to play with me, no surprise there. Can't lie, it is surprising me that I'm actually making a video about cream of rice. I didn't think I'd have to do an actual video for this, but people have asked me, how do you make your cream of rice? I've been searching up how to do it and I still don't know how to do it. So I'm going to show you the Georgie boy way. So as you can see, after 1 minute, I'm stirring. It needs to go back in the microwave for 1 minute, yeah. So I'm going to put it back in there for 1 minute. Or maybe I'm going to do 30 seconds, check it after 30 seconds, and then I'm going to give it a stir, and then do it for another 30 seconds and see what the outcome looks like. Update, I took it out after 36 seconds back in the microwave, and as you can see, it started to get a little bit more clumpy. It's very watery here, but it's getting clumpier. So what we're going to do, guess what we're going to fucking do? We're going to stir it again, ain't we? Good old, use that wrist. Use that fucking wrist of yours and get stirring. You may notice that sound is horrendous, by the way, that there's like little air bubbles in it. See that air bubble, air bubble, air bubble? And what happens when you keep stirring is, guess what? They disappear. So just keep fucking using that wrist, boy. Back. Now as you can see, it's kind of gone very clumpy, and all you simply need to do, I'm not going to do this one-handed, is stir. Notice how the theme of making cream of rice is fucking stirring. What you may notice is that it goes quite hard. Like as you can see here, it goes quite hard. The trick is to slightly overcook it, in my opinion. So as you can see, it's a bit overcooked for me and my texture. A lot of people eat it like that. I personally don't like it. I like it a little bit more watery. So the simple thing to do from this, to fix this, especially if you overcook your cream of rice, just like you would with oats, is come over to the tap. Yep, here we have a tap, fantastic. So I'm going to put this underneath the tap, just like that. Like this is how you eccentrically load the cream of rice. So I put it underneath the tap, just like that. Loading it up by about 20% of volume in terms of water. And obviously it's boiling hot already because it's been in the microwave. Turn that off. So what you will notice is when you start, again, stirring this in, and as you can see, the water's disappeared. Wow, how's that? What's happened there? That's science, bro. Now as you can see, I'm starting to mix this in more and more, and the texture is getting to more the consistency which I like. I'm just going to add a little bit more because I like it a little bit more watery. The more you do this, the more you'll understand the texture of cream of rice. And as you can see, I'm getting into it right now, getting really, like, wrist is really warm now, so I'm really getting really into it. Come on, go, a little bit more water, a little bit more, and guess what? I can stir it. We have the cream of rice. That took me, ignore the time because I've had to obviously do a bit of recording, but generally if I wasn't recording, that would take about 2 minutes in the microwave in total, 30 seconds of stirring, and then we're good to go. That, my friends, is perfect cream of rice. I'm going to show you how to make protein sludge because it's really fucking hard. It really is hard. Like, it's the hardest thing to do. I swear, like, no one can ever make this. It's so hard. It's that fucking hard, yeah? You need a mug. So I'm going to go to the cupboard right now. I'm going to open the cupboard. I'm going to eccentrically open the cupboard about 40%. That's 40%. Unfortunately, it's decided to open about 45%, which might atrophy in terms of hypertrophy or may cause a ruptured ligament. I'm then going to put my arm into the cupboard and I'm going to get this mug. Now this mug is just a very nice Marks and Spencer's mug. It literally costs you about £4.99. I don't know how much it's me making it. I want to grab my scales. Come over here. I'm then going to eccentrically load the scales onto the draining board. Now I'm going to make my protein sludge. So I'm actually going to weigh out how much water I add into this mug to make it more like a sludge. Now the Perform Whey, I must admit, is very good to make a protein sludge with. I'm using a double chocolate. Obviously the GOAT can get it from Supplement Man as well. Use my code George10, little plug there. Very lightly, you don't want to be putting too much water in there because it can just go to shit. If you do fuck up your sludge, the easiest thing to do is simply add more whey protein into it and then it thickens it up. I'm then going to start stirring, and as you can see, once I start stirring, it goes a little bit dry, so I'm going to add some more water into it. Keep stirring again. So as you can see, or as you can't see right now, it's getting a little bit more clumpier. Just keep stirring. Get that wrist working again, guys. You can do this. Another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And as you can see, I've pretty much done it. There we go. That is how you make protein sludge. That was the fucking hardest thing of the day, right? We used 200 grams of blueberries, like I said earlier. So the packs of 400 is basically the second half of the pack, which is always handy. That's exactly 200. Now I've applied the frozen blueberries, it's time for the protein sludge. So I'm then going to I'm then going to pour on top. The final ingredient is the pink Himalayan salt. Again, you get this from absolutely anywhere. I'm then going to put about 2 or 3 grams on top of it. Question, why do you use pink Himalayan salt over normal sea salt, table salt? Tastes better, and there are some better minerals in pink Himalayan salt compared to regular salt. This is how your cream of rice should look after it's done. Obviously, you can't really look at that gooiness, flavorous, with the blueberries, the pink salt on top, the protein sludge, the cream of rice. That, my friends, is a perfect meal to have pre-workout, as well as the dark chocolate. So the pre-workout meal, why do I have cream of rice? What's the benefits of cream of rice? Why not have like oats or something like that? One, I'll be honest, flavor, it tastes really nice. 2, actually sits really comfortably with me, and I always say pre-workout, try and find a carb source that sits with you nicely and doesn't bloat you and you're spending like 2 hours trying to digest the fucker. There's nothing worse than having bloating and going to the gym at the same time, right? So I found that cream of rice is quite easy, and for most people, rice-based products anyway are quite easy to digest. So obviously we've got the carb-based, we've then carbohydrates from the fruit. Blueberries, I like frozen blueberries. I'm a bit weird like that when it comes to like defrosted blueberries. I can't eat them, but frozen blueberries, I don't know why they've got a crunch to it, which I really do like. The protein is obviously just, again, the Perform protein. It sits quite nicely with me. I don't seem to have many digestive issues with that. If you are going to look to use a protein, I'd always opt for like an isolate protein. If you do struggle with digesting proteins, for sure, isolate or hydrolyzed whey protein works well. Or if you're fine with whey proteins, then just stick to a concentrate. That's totally fine. But like I said, I'm aiming for about 25 to 35 grams of highly bioavailable protein there. So I'm getting I get 5 muscle protein synthesis spikes throughout the day. I think that's really important to remember. So 5 of those, that's one of them in the pre-workout meal. Then we've got the dark chocolate. So obviously the benefits, and there is research behind dark chocolate now. I think Joe Jeffries actually published a really good article on dark chocolate itself. But from what I've read and what I've learned about dark chocolate, it has a little bit of caffeine in it. So obviously it's going to have some sort of benefit in terms of stimulation. A lot of people don't realize that some of these products do have caffeine in it. Not massive amounts, but it has benefits in terms of brain function as well. So there is a cognitive function to using dark chocolate, as well as the nitric oxide balance in the body. So what that basically does is that increases your blood flow. Technically, when we're increasing blood flows, because our blood vessels open, that's going to allow us to have more blood flow into the muscle. We know that blood carries nutrients, which is obviously going to help us grow, repair post-workout. So in my opinion, there's a lot of benefits towards that. Also, one benefit to remind yourself of when it comes to dietary fats in the pre-workout meal is fats help blunt the uptake of carbohydrates. Notice if you have a bowl of cereal, let's say pre-workout, that spike of insulin, all of a sudden your blood sugar levels just go up like that, you get a burst of energy, and then once you start burning through that, all of a sudden you have that crash, and that's when you start feeling lethargic, tired, and halfway through your gym session you're thinking, why am I feeling like this? Basically because your blood sugar levels are elevated too quickly, and what comes up must come down very quickly. So I always try and recommend adding in some sort of dietary fats, anywhere between 10 and 15 grams in your pre-workout meal, to slow the uptake of those carbohydrates so you have a steady release of energy instead of just getting these crazy spikes. Makes sense in my opinion. And then obviously we've got the pink Himalayan salt. So adding salt into your pre-workout meal is going to be very, very beneficial. Sodium, again, another electrolyte which is really important for hydration, good pumps. A lot of time you hear about sodium and how it can affect workouts in terms of getting a good stimulus. Again, I think sodium anywhere between 2,000 milligrams to 4,000 milligrams. So in your case, 2 to 3 grams of salt, 4 grams of salt, for example, works really well. You'll probably see better pumps in the gym, better hydration, better uptake of food as well, which is really important. Obviously, carbohydrates are dictated by sodium and water intake, so actually consuming some salt in your pre-workout meal is going to be quite beneficial there. And that's pretty much it. Ideally, what I always say about the pre-workout meal as well is leave it until people always ask me, should I go to the gym after an hour, 2 hours, an hour and a half, 30 minutes? And it's very much down to the individual. It's very much down to you. So it's a lot of trial and error. I typically wait an hour and a half to 2 hours. I have a mate, Nathan, he can train after fucking 30. He can literally drive to the gym, train legs and not be sick at all. I think, fuck me, if I did that, I'd be fucking feeling terrible. But that's him, that's Nathan, and that's how he does things. Trial and error on that one, and when you feel your best is when you should go to the gym. Today's video, I hope it's given you an insight around about the pre-workout meal, the reasonings behind what I'm doing, maybe something for you to think about, how to cook cream of rice, all of that sort of good stuff. Anyway, lots of love, hope this video has helped, and I'll see you guys in the fucking next one. Bye. Oh god, I can't reach. Small man, 5'5", 5'6" problems, you can't fuck. Let's go, 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 go.